Welcome to yet another beautiful episode of the Lead Talk TV. I would want to take this opportunity to welcome my co-host, Coach Shilpa Joshi. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited to see you and you, the audience today. As you're listening to us, I would like to really, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for the comments, for the downloads, and for the many words of encouragement you're giving us. The last time we had a, a, a session where we had somebody, an expert, a coach, who transitioned from being a professional like you, a business owner like you, and now is helping people with burnout.
Yes.
She's helping people to come out of burnout. And if you missed that episode, please go back and watch that episode. That was episode 12. In today's
Yes.
episode, 13, my colleague, my co-host, Coach Shilpa is going to share how working professionals and business owners can work on themselves in a way that will make them productive, in a way that will make them better versions of themselves. So I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I would like to give this chance for her to really talk about it in more details as we go on. And at the end of this segment, um, we will be leaving sections where you can always write to us as we have always done. If you have specific topics you'd like us to talk about, please send us an email as usual so we can be able to address your specific needs. Now,
Yes.
I would also like to let you know that next week we are going to have another special guest who has been like you, who has been in the world of work.
Mhm.
She was a leader. She became entrepreneur and right now is changing the lives of people. And so our next episode, we are going to be hosting her. We can't wait to bring her to you. And with this note, I would like to invite my co-host to say one or two things just to
Yes.
welcome you.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome our dear viewers and audience to our love this podcast and YouTube channel, Deep Talk TV. And we again want to express our gratitude, not only because you are just downloading or watching it, but you are engaging with us. You are coming up with exciting topics, insights, and keep sharing that because what you feel and what you want is more important to us. And
Yes.
as Dr. Gerald said, please go and watch the episode where wonderful coach Emma Matthews she's helping people defeat the burnout, which is
Mhm.
a need of an hour. And I'm sure her special bonus will give you a lot of insights as well. Having said that, let's get started.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Coach Shilpa, I
Mhm.
know you are very gifted in simplifying complex things
Yes.
to make things very simple. Now, the last episode we talked about, and I remember that was episode 10, we talked about creating a roadmap through
Mhm.
which working professionals and business owners can actually work on themselves. Because
Yes.
then you had promised that we need to do a session where you're going to give them a simple formula so they can actually become better professionals. So, why did you choose this topic for us to talk about today?
Okay, great question, Dr. Gerald, to start with. The why. Why did we choose this? And yes, as you rightly said, we spoke about this in episode 10, which was
Yes.
talking about three deadly mistakes working professionals and business owners make, which keeps them stuck. And I have done them as well.
Mm.
And we also discussed what to do instead.
Yes.
But those who have not watched or listened, I will request them to go back and check that and continue here again. So the
Yes.
number one mistake we discussed there, which working professionals and business owners do, is that they work harder on their business and their job than they do on themselves.
True.
And we have seen working hard and smart on your business and job is very important. It is actually a part of integrity, right?
Mm.
However, the mistake part was not that working hard on your job, but not working harder on yourself, on your personal growth. As
Exactly.
my mentor, the visionary Jim Rohn says, work harder, learn to work harder on yourself than your job if you want to create a future.
Mm.
So I'll share my story. I always believed in personal growth and self growth. And I read a lot of self-help books, watched hundreds of hours of motivational videos, how to do videos, right?
Yes.
Attended multiple webinars and seminars. And I
Yes.
was understanding and listening to a lot of things, concept, huge content, huge knowledge, wisdom. But I didn't see much change and progress in my life. And I
Mm.
wondered why. Because some people around me are not even doing what I'm doing. I'm
Mm.
spending all my hours not spending on having some fun activity, but on personal growth. So why there are no visible results? And
Mm.
sometimes when you do that for a long period of time, it becomes very disappointing and discouraging,
I
right?
know. Mm.
But by God's grace, I never left the path.
Yes.
But now the question is, how do we work on ourselves? It's okay. So many people tell us, okay, Coach Shilpa, I know I want to work on myself. But is there any way or method where we actually get to see the results? And the answer is yes. So I'll share my personal method, which my
Mm.
clients also use for crafting the self growth journey. So that is the why.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I like the fact that you say that you just talked about your story. And stories are very, very important. And one of my mentors says that facts tell, stories really make
Self.
us understand. They sell.
Yes.
So they
Yes.
make us get into the mood of seeing you going through hours of motivational videos and you're still feeling stuck. And I'm so glad you have been able to share this experience. So tell us, what is this method that you crafted? Where do the people start from?
Okay, that's very interesting. And this method is called DUPAR. It's like super duper. So my method is DUPAR. And it
Wow,
can be used for personal growth and self projects, goals, or any success journey. And
wonderful.
let me explain in detail and starting with the first step with your permission, Dr.
Go
Gerard.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so DUPAR is DUPARR, right? So D stands for decide. Decide, not wish, not hope, but decide, because decision is much stronger word. And
Mm,
you and me have seen how decision making makes difference in life, right?
absolutely.
So Tony Robbins, as once he said, that it is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is in the moments of your decision that your destiny is shaped. There is no progress without making a decision. And the same applies to personal growth process as well.
Yeah.
Decide what you want for yourself, become specific with that, whether you want to be an entrepreneur, a
Hmm.
coach, a consultant, what kind of value you want to add to people, what is that you're trying to learn now, what is that path or what is that knowledge process or skill process you're trying to be better at, and what are you willing to do for it. So what you want, be specific with that, and what are you willing to do with it or do for it. As I, we love quotes, so I've got
Yes.
beautiful quotes this episode. And George Eliot once said, it is never too late to
Hmm.
become who you might have been.
Can you say that again? That is so powerful.
Yes. So he once said, George Eliot once said, it is never too late to be who you might have been.
Beautiful.
And that's why it is very important to decide who you want to be, what is that you really, really want, and
Mm.
write down all these answers to this question to reconfirm this to your own self and your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Now, let me also narrate why specifics. As you would absolutely appreciate, you are a leadership coach and a mentor, right? But if
Hmm.
somebody just comes and says, hey, I want to learn leadership, but unless that person has a context to what level he is, why he's
Hmm.
wanting leadership skills, is he wanting to grow from being individual contributor to a first time leader, or is he a seasoned leader and now want to expand the scope of his leadership? So
Exactly.
it's very important, like why you want to build this personal journey and become specific with that.
Absolutely.
Right.
I agree
So
with
also write, yeah, sorry. So you're saying something?
I'm saying I absolutely agree with that. Really, the element of why is very important. So go
Yes.
on. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So once you write that, also write why even you want it. Because most of the time, people just decide what they want.
Yeah.
They do not decide why they want it. Okay, I want a personal growth journey. Okay, what does that mean? I want to become more assertive. I want to be excellent in communication skills so that I can communicate with my team well. That is
Exactly.
getting specific. And why I
Exactly.
want it? Because I, along with my team, wants to create amazing results, which is aligned with my organization goals. So
Mhm.
that is why, maybe, right? So the
Exactly.
stronger and the deeper the why, the more possibilities of you staying on the path, and then you can start figuring out the
The
how.
how. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So writing that is very important. Why? Because when you feel like giving up, because sometimes the journey gets tough
Tough.
and we feel
Yes.
like giving up, it seems like a lot of hard work along with other 200 things we do in life, then you
Exactly.
can always come back to your why and get the strength. So decisions will give you the starter for the process.
Wow. Wow. I really like the fact that you emphasize this first stage of decide, and the most important thing I like is not just saying I want something, but going a little deeper and say, why do I want this? What is the why? What is the context? At the end of the day, what do I want to achieve? That's
Yes.
beautiful. Now, I totally agree with you that deciding what we want and wanting it is very, very critical. Now, one of the key things we know is having the why gives us the fuel, right? And this is
Yes.
why one of the great leaders, Simon Sinek, says that
Mhm.
when we start with the why, then
Mhm.
we can make things move. So what
Yes.
is the next what? I know you said you, right? So what does you
Yes.
stand for?
Yeah, that's beautiful. And yes, I agree with what the Simon Sinek said. We'll start with why. And
Yes.
yes, the U stands for understand. So decide and understand.
Okay.
Understand thoroughly what it takes to stay on the path of what you have decided to achieve.
Mhm.
Assess where you are and where you want to be. And
Okay.
then understand what is the gap, right? So once you understand the gap, what are the resources, what is the time, what are the people's courses, focus you would need to get from here to there. So understand this process.
Mhm.
Most of the time when we decide what we want, we start taking action, but doing critical thinking before taking that action is a very important step. Sometimes we only think about taking action and the time frame, but we do not ascertain what could be the resources, who could be the people I need to reach out to if I have this goal in mind.
Exactly.
So understand what you need on this journey. For example, you decide to go from being in your country to say some other country.
Mhm.
It is not just enough to start packing the bags and book a ticket. You will understand the weather, you will understand how the journey looks like,
Mhm.
which is the preferred vehicle for you,
Mhm.
right? So that is understanding so that you will reach there easier, faster, and you will be able to handle the roadblocks when it shows up.
Yeah.
For example, somebody decides to transition from being an employee to entrepreneur for
Mhm.
whom we help, right?
Yeah.
So understanding the journey, supporting self with right environment, focus, guidance would build that resilience and ensure that you reach there no matter what. So that is the you about understanding the process and resources involved.
This is very interesting, Coach Shilpa. Something that, as you're explaining this, it's like knowing, and what strikes me most is like, okay, where do I want to be? I want to be in step A, right? But where am I?
Yes.
I'm here.
Yeah.
So, what does it take from step C to step A? What are the resources? Who can help me? And I see this is where people like you and me come
Yeah.
in to help with the
Yes.
coaching and the support and really focusing the people to go on that. I think I really like this step. This is so far the most favorite for me. Okay, go on.
Thank you.
Now
Thank you.
that
Thank you.
thank you. Now that you've taken us through D, you've taken us through U, what is the next step?
Yeah. So next step after decide and understand is
Yes,
plan. And not
exactly.
just plan, a strategic plan.
Okay.
What is your plan to achieve your personal growth or personal and success goal?
Mhm.
When do you start? What time frame you have in mind? Some may think of becoming successful is the destination, but it is not a destination, it's a journey. So planning that journey is very, very important. As I said before in my previous example, that journey has a milestone, but it could also have a roadblock. It could also have a change of weather, change of environment and a culture.
Yeah.
So once you understand that, plan that what you can do so that you can get acclimatized to the new environments of your success journey. The journey with milestones, the measurable steps, the tiny success goal, which would indicate to you that you are on the right path.
Yes.
Right? So you know you are going the right way. For example, again, switching from employee to entrepreneur, somebody means like me, I may think like I need a mindset shift.
Yeah.
I may need a business model. I may need a mentor. I'll need tools. I'll need techniques.
Yeah.
I'll need more clarity. And I will also need a plan which includes timelines, milestones, long term vision, but also short term action plans.
Exactly.
Right? So, clear step by step plan with flexibility to avoid sudden break and giving up when you feel disappointed. So, plan actions, plan your focus, plan your resources, also plan your habits and daily behavior and actions, because the secret of success is not a one event thing, it's not an overnight thing, as you know. The secret lies in your daily routines. Exactly. So, sit with your mentor or someone you trust or somebody who can really guide you, as they have earned that right and have the ability to do through. So take them through your plan and see if there are any gaps or unseen blind spots. And when you are 80% ready, start. Don't try to make it perfect, because it never happens that way, how much ever we do want. So that is about this particular action, P, plan.
I really like. I am I'm beginning to like. It's like every step you mentioned. It's very interesting. So with the planning, you talk about strategic planning, just not planning for the sake of it. And from what you said, you have to plan in a holistic way, both short term and long. And I can see definitely this is where mentorship comes in.
Yes.
And one of the things you mentioned here is that the person needs to be trusted. So this is like a mentor. This is somebody who has been there, who has done that, so that your journey of the planning is easy. And the other important point that as you listen to us, and we find as coaches, we find what holds many people in their tracks is procrastination. And procrastination many times manifests itself in perfectionism, right? So you want to be 100% ready before you take the first step. And every year, the new plans keep coming, right? So you could actually become perfect in planning, but never going to the next step. Now that we are done with planning, Coach Silpa, what is the next after planning?
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a super important, step of any success, which is A for action. A massive, courageous action. Why? Because that shows commitment to your plan. Right? We always want to take tiny steps, but sometimes you also have to take courageous actions, which is massive. But this massiveness will depend on which stage you are. Right? For me, for example, when I started this journey, thinking of quitting a job, then actually taking that decision, at each step of becoming an entrepreneur or an influencer or a coach or a mentor, there was a need of massive action. Right? For example, even for me, it was a tough challenge to come on a video and record something. For me, it was a courageous action. So it could be any action for you which is courageous. Exactly. It could be enrolling, because it could be enrolling for a course. It could be going and seeking that help from a mentor, because most of the people don't buy mentorship or coaching. It's not because they don't trust the process or that mentor. It's sometimes we don't trust ourselves that we will take that action and we are so worthy of self investment.
Yeah.
So it could be taking that action, it could be taking action on your knowledge gap or a skill gap. It could be also for somebody who has a personal health goal, could be like activating your gym membership but with a personal trainer, so have accountability.
Exactly.
Or it could be an action of discipline of daily meditation, focus training, or deep work, mindset transformation habits. So once you make a decision, understand and plan, you would feel more ready for action. Since people skip the step of understanding and strategic planning, most of the time they start taking intermittent actions, and that's when there is a hesitation inside. Right? But once you go through the DUPARR process, you are ready and your hesitation starts melting away. So don't skip the steps. And taking random actions, watching hundreds of hours of video as I did, or reading any self-help book which you feel or recently heard about, trying to eat a salad for a week or over a weekend, right? That would create an illusion of our self growth process, and we may think, okay, we are doing something, but then you may fall back quickly on the old path, and what happens is we lose our enthusiasm and we feel more disinterested to start again, and the process gets longer. So that is what I want our dearest working professional who are so sincere, so hardworking, the business owner, to be on this path with a speedy process.
Wow, very good. You talked about massive action and you share with us different massive actions. So and as I'm listening to you, I'm like, okay, if I am a teacher trying to move into entrepreneurship, if I'm a nurse trying to quit hospital, maybe starting my own stuff somewhere, if I'm a banker
Yes.
trying to move somewhere, my massive action will be different because depending on my skill set, depending on what I want to be doing. And one thing I like here is that it's like it shouldn't be random action, right? So one of the
Yes.
things you make very, very clear is everything should be in an organized way. Now,
Yeah.
from this, it's clear that this is really a process of self-growth. And
Yeah.
these four steps kind of really bring to me, and I can relate very closely with my own journey of self-growth. Now
Yes.
that you come to this point, what should the listener do after they come to the point of massive action? What is the next thing they should do?
Yes, wonderful. So the next step is RR. So after deciding, then you are understanding the process, then planning and taking action. The next step is R and R. And the first R stands for review.
Okay.
Review once you have taken an action for a certain period of time, review your results, review your outcome. Is it helping me? Is it taking me in the right direction? Are my fears and doubts started taking over? Am I implementing all necessary steps or eliminating certain critical steps? What is that I'm not able to see? What I need to improve? What needs to change and what needs to stop? So the review process is like when we are on the journey, we somehow know the direction, we are on the road, we are driving in the right vehicle with a full speed, but it's also checking the GPS on the way to avoid rerouting or getting diversion.
Yes.
So if you like the reviewed results, then give a great pat on your back and go ahead.
Exactly.
But if you don't like what is happening, if you don't like the outcome of your actions, then pause, take a review, change, amend, and eliminate what is unnecessary and include what was missing. This will also give you a good sense of self-awareness and energy to progress ahead. So that was the next step, which is R. And last but not the least, which is most important, is the last R, which is repeat. Wow. So decide, understand, plan, act, review,
Review.
and repeat. Repeat the process on reaching the first milestone.
Beautiful.
Why?
Beautiful.
Because, Coach Gerald, there is always next step. So you started from here, you took the journey, you followed the process, you reached here. Now again, repeat, because there is always next level waiting for you. And that would need different decisions, different actions, different planning, different set of understanding.
Okay.
Right?
So just to build on that.
Yes.
So DUPARR, without the second R, you review the process, you like the results. And
Yes.
so are you saying that the listener should now focus on repeating the process to
Yes.
get to the next level?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, you're right. Because when we see the result, there is a tendency to keep repeating what we have been doing.
Okay.
But what I've seen is that our every version of new success demands every new version for next level.
Okay.
So unless we start the process, we need to change the decisions. We need to change the understanding of the next journey. What helped us get from here to here may not help us get from here to here.
Exactly.
Right? So that's why it's important to repeat the process. Why? Because the view changes. View from ground floor is different from third floor to seventh floor to 23rd floor to 50th floor.
Exactly. And so really like most successful people have come to understand at every level is a new level, right? So which means we have to go through a new set of decisions, a new set of understanding, a new set of planning, and then taking another kind of massive action, right? So that
Yes.
we again review the process. So in a way, in my mind, I'm looking at this like a staircase going continuously up, right? So you repeat the process. Yes, take us more about the repeating process and what are the
Yes.
key things a person should be doing in this process of
Yes.
repeating.
Yes, beautiful. So actually, as I said, the view will start changing. So if you repeat the process, you may have different insights, you may have different instincts, your needs would change. At every step, your need would be different and your vision would change. So your desires and awareness would become different. Your confidence level is going to change. So align to your new version and stick to the process. Most do the steps: decide, plan, and act. What they skip is understand and review and repeat. Right? So we will have to incorporate that so they don't give up. And success is always waiting for you. And it is in the each step you take. Because I would want to conclude the DUPARR process by a beautiful quote by one and only Earl Nightingale is that success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal.
I love that. Say that again. It's such a
Yes.
good one.
Yes, it is. Like success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal and ideal. So once you have a worthy goal or an ideal, any progress towards that is also success.
Yes. Beautiful. So that means the success is both the means and end, right? So it's the process and the outcome. I love that.
Yes, 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 absolutely. So that is a DUPARR process. I hope our audience finds this simple process, but a very effective one. They can just remember super duper and remember DUPARR process for personal growth. So over
I
to you,
love this.
Dr. Jairaj.
I love this. I really, really want to thank you, Coach Shilpa. This is really super, super duper, right? It's so interesting that this fits very well in it's a common speak, right? Where we want really to have duper, which means something fantastic, something good. So from this, we realize, listeners, that in order for us to achieve personal growth and success, when we take the DUPARR process, we have to first, as Coach Shilpa mentioned, we have to decide, which means we need to be clear what needs to change, what do I need to improve, what do I need to eliminate. Once you're clear with that decision process, then we have to go deep. You go deep and you go deep to understand the game to understand the gaps, to understand the resources that you need, because without resources, you cannot go to the next stage. And the next stage is planning. So you plan with yourself. First of all, you start with yourself, seeing that decision and understanding and flow. And then we would recommend as coaches, we would recommend that you get a mentor, you get a coach, somebody you trust, so that together you have your actions, you focus, you know the skills you need to learn, the habits, the behavior you need to change, and the daily actions you need to take so that you are ready for the next step, which is massive action. And as Coach Shilpa mentions, massive action is important because no success occurs unless you take action, right? And this action doesn't have to be perfect action. You are better off taking even imperfect action as long as it is needed, as long as it's courageous, okay?
Yes.
Now, after you go through the DUPA segment of the self-development process, then number 5 is to review the outcome. So as you are reviewing your results. You are seeing, okay, what went right, what went wrong, what do I need to revise, what changes do I need to do? And once we are very clear with this, we have kind of evaluated this step, then we have to repeat it. And this is where the second R comes, right? We repeat the process with a new mindset, with new decisions, with a deeper understanding, deeper planning. And then wherever and it's necessary, we modify our actions. So again, Coach Shilpa, I want to thank you for this DUPARR process. I think our audience is going to love this. So what would you like to tell them all?
Yeah, so I would just like to leave the message with our beautiful audience that everything you need is absolutely within you, around you, which is within your reach. So just reach out and take that necessary action, step, planning, everything, because you deserve the life you really, really want. And I'm also giving the bonus what we created again. The special bonus which we give in episode 10 is again copying, pasting down, so that we can avoid also the mistakes on the way, not only taking right actions, but mistakes sometimes pulls us back in the backward direction. So they can avoid that. And also, Coach Gerald, you can tell them what special bonus you're giving to them. So make sure you all read it, share it with others to improve their success story as well and contribute. Because now we are set to invite a special guest again next week who's going to give you wonderful insight. So wait for that episode. Over to you, Dr. Gerald.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I like that. Our next episode that's coming next week is a special guest you wouldn't want to miss. So make sure you put on your calendar a reminder. So when this episode gets uploaded, you have your notification app and you make sure you watch that. Now, I have also included under this episode the gift of something that as a leader that will help you as you go through the DUPARR process. It's always important to work on your mind. And so one of the things we've put here is using affirmations, using meditation, using positive words. And so I've included a simple document, downloadable, that you can put on your phone easily for you to see how you can improve your mindset as a leader, how you can believe more about yourself as a leader. So make sure you download it. And also we invite you to subscribe to this episode, download it, share it with your loved ones, colleagues at work. And also we invite you to join our leadership family and the career transition community, and follow us on social media where we keep giving these ideas. And feel free to reach out to us for consultation, for mentoring, and any guest speaking opportunities. And if you would like to get in touch with us, please write to us at leadtalkpodcast@gmail.com. We are ready to assist you in your leadership journey, in your career transition and career transformation, because we want you to be successful. We want you to be the best version of yourself. Coach Shilpa, I'm sure you have
Yes.
something for them. Go ahead.
Yes. So, last word from me, from our side, and from Lead Talk podcast. If you have your own transformation success story, do share with us. We'll try to cover that in the next episode so that you can also inspire others. So, please do share your journey with us. And who knows, maybe you would be our next guest because we always want people like you to be with us. And having said that, take best care of yourself. We'll see you again in the next new Power Packed episode. Till then, stop struggling, start winning. Stop following, start leading.
See you. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.